Would you rather have one of the most iconic one-of-ones ever made or a basic rookie card for the same price? Would you rather have a Kaboom or would you rather have a common, non-numbered, retail exclusive rookie card? It's your collection. You get to decide. We get to data dive. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Data Dive powered by Market Movers. My name is Tyler Nethercott, better known as Teapot. And last week, I talked about why I think the major premium for PSA 10 cards is way too much. This week, I want to do some more would you rathers. I did some of that last week, but I want to build more on that idea. The beautiful thing about all of this, and we talked about it in Cards on the Table on Thursday, is that it's your collection. In a way, the market speaks with its dollars. It's not what Teapot thinks is best, it's what actually happens. And I can point out market dynamics, and then I can choose how I want to interact with those dynamics, and so can you do that as well. So today I thought some more thought-provoking would you rathers would be fun and relevant. As always, this video is brought to you by Market Movers. Visit marketmoversapp.com and use promo code DIVE when you check out. You'll get 14 days, 2 weeks completely free to try out Market Movers, and then 20% off any plan for life as long as you're subscribed. Now let's get into the data. All right, so I'm just gonna go through 5 would you rathers across different sports today. And the first one is the one I actually showed Doug and Jeff on Cards on the Table on Thursday. And in case you missed it, I wanted to show you as well. This is a hypothetical. I've got 3 cards here. We've got a Luka Kaboom. We've got a Luka case hit Aurora out of Court Kings. And then we've got a 2018 Prism Luka Dončić rookie card, the red, white, and blue barbershop parallel, as I call it. These were out of retail fat packs. They were in the little pack inside, the cello packs, as people call them, I guess would be more appropriate. And this is a card that's about, I think, pop 4,000 and change total graded. So it's not numbered. It's not particularly rare, and it's, in my opinion, not particularly attractive. So just ask yourself right now, ask yourself this question. Which of these cards would you rather have? And I'd love for you to let me know down in the comments too, as we go through these, keep track of it, which of these cards or different scenarios you would go for. Would you have the Kaboom, the Aurora, or the basic retail rookie card? When I asked Doug and Jeff, Doug said the Aurora. I know he, like I, is a big Court Kings fan and a big fan of Auroras. Jeff said he'd rather have the Kaboom. And then I went like this, and I showed them the prices that each of these cards last sold for. The Kaboom, raw condition, sold for $475 on February 14th on Valentine's Day. Someone bought themselves a nice little Kaboom for Valentine's Day. Then there's the Aurora, which is a PSA 8. Oh, what a terrible grade, what a terrible grade. Well, this is a card that has black everywhere. It gets edge chipping and issues. It's really hard to gem these cards. Does that matter? It's still a beautiful card. $380. Somebody bought this one for themselves on Christmas. I didn't even notice that until now. We got a Valentine's Day, a Christmas purchase. And then we've got this Luka Dončić red, white, and blue Prism. PSA 10. PSA 10, so special. $493 on January 13 for a common, non-numbered, short printed retail exclusive parallel that looks like it's taking him to the barbershop. And that one sold for more than 2 definitively superior cards. And that's what's really interesting. Neither of them would want that. Now, Jeff, after saying he was going to disagree with me on my premise from last week's video, said, well, I kind of agree with you in this particular scenario. And that's what's really important. That's why I wanted to go through. That was the idea, to go through more scenarios, because in some cases, you might say, give me the higher grade. In some cases, you might say, give me the rarer card. It's probably rare that it's a cut and dry one or the other. I got a lot of feedback last week of people saying they agreed and that they would rather have nicer cards, rarer cards, or maybe more cards. But there were people who would rather have the higher grade. My suspicion is it's sort of like the investor-collector paradigm, where very few people are one or the other. Most people are somewhere in between 90-10, 80-20 to 50-50, depending on the scenario. So let's jump over and look at another basketball example here. And this time, I've got Steph Curry. And what I've got here is Steph Curry's, and these sales are a little bit spread out, but this is, I think, really illustrates a point. I've got his BGS 10 Pristine. We know BGS 10 Pristines sell for more than a PSA 10, and a BGS 10 Black Label sells for more, usually significantly more than that. PSA doesn't go higher than the PSA 10 unless you get the Mike Baker stickers like we talked about last week. And in this case, this was back in April, 4/20 of last year. I'll leave it at that. And that's the BGS 10 Pristine. This is his rookie refractor. Great card. By the way, there's definitely not 500 of these out in circulation. Some of these were lost along the way or have yet to be opened. But this is a chrome refractor number to 500 and BGS 10 Pristine. This sold for $87,000 last year in April. But then you've got his 2009 National Treasures rookie patch auto Century Gold to 25. Gold to 25. I also don't believe there's 25 of these out in circulation. Really nice looking patch, although that wasn't necessarily the one that sold here. If we scroll down, actually, it looks pretty similar. Nice looking patch. Nice on-card auto, and this was in a PSA 8 condition. We can click on this Pop 1 and see that there are only 2 graded higher with PSA, and that one sold for $94,000. When you're talking $87.94, that's not a big difference. Which one would you rather have? Which of these 2 cards would you rather have? I would very, very, very much rather have the NT to 25, and I'll show you part of the reason why. If I drop this grade down to a PSA 10, now that one's $69,000. Let's see if there's another lower grade in a PSA 9, $16,500. And I guarantee you could get one of those in really nice looking condition. Let's see if there's a PSA 8 for comparison's sake. That one sold in June of last year for $11,900. And this is where you have this situation with a definitively better card, with a rarer card. This is the definitively better, rarer card. This is the one that has some artificial scarcity baked into it by virtue of the grade of the slab, of the number on it, of the opinion of a grader in some dark room who's grading things every 30 to 45 seconds quickly and then magically multiplying the value of these cards as they come back to the people who sent them in. So I would take the Steph Curry, but again, keep your notes and let me know. Drop a comment down below and let me know which of these cards you would rather have. Let's shift gears to the thumbnail image. This is the one I liked the best of these comparisons. And this one's not even close in price, which is surprising to me. But you've got Lionel Messi, Argentina, wins the World Cup, basically solidifies himself in the minds of many, many people as the GOAT, as the greatest of all time in soccer. Many people moved him above Pele and others in that conversation and said, he won the World Cup, he's done it all, he's a scoring machine, he's probably the most exciting footballer ever to watch, and now he's the GOAT. And this is his Prism World Cup Gold Power, numbered to 1 in a PSA 10. Absolutely beautiful card. I've got to blow it up. This card is amazing looking. And then you close it out, and that card sold for $218,000. It sold, let's take a look here, on Golden Auction last year in April for $218,000. And then you've got his 2004, very iconic, undoubtedly iconic image here, his 2004 Panini Mega Cracks base rookie card. Not a super circulated card, not a high population card. This one's Pop 19 in a PSA 10 that sold for $322,000. And that was more recently in January 27th of 2024. We can go back, we can look at the last auction though, was in Golden, $266,000. So still more than the Gold Power, which sold 2 months, 2 months prior to that sale. Both sales on Golden. Which of these would you rather have? To me, that Gold Power it's so iconic. I consider it to be one of the most iconic one-of-ones of all time. It ticks all the boxes. It's Prism, arguably the most iconic set, maybe with National Treasures from Panini era. It is a beautiful card. It's a PSA 10. It is World Cup. It's when he won the World Cup, and it's one of the greatest players of all time in any sport. Here it is. It sells for significantly less than one where there are 19 copies, which is his rookie card, which is not nearly as visually appealing. It's not visually how we remember him looking. He's obviously very young, as you get in many rookie cards. I don't particularly like the look of this card from that year of Mega Cracks. Again, the choice is yours. The choice is to the people whoever bought these cards, whoever paid this money. But I really, really like that World Cup Gold Power. I would consider that card like way up there on my list of like cards I'll never have or never could have. but would love to have on my list if I was buying at that price point. Way more than this one. And again, let's drop this down to a PSA 9. $22,000 on this card in a PSA 9 when you compare that price. So that's a big price gap, obviously. All right, a couple more examples. Let's talk Shohei Ohtani. And here I've got, we do this sometimes on our Market Movers Instagram account. If you're not following that in your Instagram, please go follow that. That would be a huge help. We post lots of fun would you rathers and other things, other data graphics on there. We call this the single card versus the stack. The single card versus the stack. And in this case, I've got one card, and it's the Shohei Ohtani 2018 Topps Update SSP variation. This is in the white jersey, the pitching, the follow through. It's a landscape card. Great image. And that's in BGS 10 pristine, which we know again sells for a significant premium. That's $5.7K. Or do you want the same card in a PSA 9? So I literally pulled the same card in a PSA 9. And then we added in a bunch of other cards. And you could pick, I mean, here's a PSA 10. Yes, it's unlicensed, but it's a downtown. This is a 2019 Diamond Kings downtown. We've got a rookie card here in a BGS 9.5. This is his Topps Heritage chrome refractor numbered to 569. Really great, iconic shot with the bat over the shoulder. We've got his negative refractor pitching in a PSA 9 out of Topps Chrome, card number 150. And then we've got his gold out of Topps flagship, very iconic, the golds. Everybody loves the golds, SGC 10. And you could scoop all of these up and actually have some room to spare versus paying for that one BGS 10 pristine of that particular card. Again, it's personal preference. Which of those do you prefer? Which of these do you like? And by the way, if you like Shohei Ohtani cards, again, I've talked about this before. We just did a really fun Ohtani fantasy draft on the Spitballing Cards podcast, where I and the other guys on that talked about Ohtani cards, and we talked about more of this in detail, more of his rookie cards. And it was kind of this scenario. Each of us sort of had to pick and choose which ones do we like. It's like a would you rather scenario. Go check that out if you want to get really deep into Ohtani cards. But let me know here when you leave your comment down below, do you choose Ohtani stack or do you choose Ohtani BGS 10 pristine? All right, one more comparison to go. We're going to shift gears to football. And this one is Joe Burrow. We've got some different choices here. This one's Joe Burrow. We've got his PSA 10 Prism Silver. We know the Prism Silvers, very iconic. People like these. But this one in a PSA 10, pretty wild. $2,000 for his PSA 10, Pop 251. Watch what happens if I drop this down to a PSA 9. $395. When do you ever see a PSA 9 to PSA 10 on an ultra-modern card have a 5x multiplier? Usually it's like 2 to 2.4 nowadays. 5x multiplier. Yes, the pop count, the gem rate is low, 774 on 9s versus 251. So the gem rate is low. It's still a Prism Silver. It's still a Prism Silver. It's not ultra rare, especially from 2020. Or would you rather have a rookie Kaboom? There's a couple of these. Black jersey, rookie Kaboom in a PSA 9. Rookie Kaboom white jersey in a PSA 9. Whichever you prefer, you could have either of those actually for roughly the same price, slightly more. Or you could get this really cool, I love these shadow box signatures on Immaculate cards, and they do it on certain other sets. But you can see it's got sort of that shadow behind the auto. So they sign to get that shadow cast in there. It's like layered, really nice looking card, beautiful hollow foil on the card. Really nice design in my opinion. And it's an on-card autograph rookie card, numbered to 49 in a PSA 9. This one's Pop 12, only 3 higher in a PSA 10 for $1.6K. So actually you would save yourself about $400 on that card. With Joe Burrow, again, choice is yours. I always want to go for something that I think is rare, for something that I think may have long-term appeal to player collectors, to people who are going to want that player's cards in the long term. And no matter what happens with the Bengals and Joe Burrow's career, I think as long as he's there, locked up into this long-term contract and can play for them and compete, Bengals fans in the very least, and maybe LSU fans are going to want Joe Burrow cards for a long time. And I think they're going to want Kabooms and other on-card auto rookie cards before they're going to want Prism Silvers, which you can get in a bunch of different grades for the long term. So what do you think? Let me know down below those 5 scenarios. I'd love to hear your picks on each of them. And are you more of a just give me the biggest, rarest grade possible, and I'll take fewer cards on, because we all have a budget? Or do you value rarity and having a bigger collection more? There's no wrong answer. Last week I kind of came down hard on it, but it's more of a thought-provoking thing that I just personally can't wrap my head around totally. But you're free to choose whatever you want to do. So let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, always do me a huge favor, like this video. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, share it with a friend if you would. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy investing, keep on collecting, and make sure to have fun.